Welcome to Planet Pluto.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango, tango, tango. Whoop, whoop. Hey, 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 hey. What's happening, good people? How are you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's the one and only, your homegirl, Ladosha, right? AKA Key Lolo. And then right up, finger with the wrong way, Cheryl. There it is. And then right over there she is with her beautiful hair, her tresses just tumbling down onto her shoulders. The one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. What'd you say about my hair tumbling down on your shoulders?
No, it's like the transition before the wash or something.
Is that before the wash? Did you see that weekend, Luana? That's what her hair looks like before the wash. Okay, this what my hair look like before the wash.
Yeah. And you gotta get it prepared and all.
Who the heck look like that before the wash? Good Lord, and hey, Nichols, you fine, girl. Shoot, let me calm my hair down before the wash. When I'm gonna wash my hair, I'll be like, let me do your hair. Look at that. That's how my hair look before I get ready to wash it. I don't know. Matter of fact, I'm looking kind of cute at it, y'all.
Yeah, that's right. Push it up,
push it up like that. Ah, shoot! Watch out, Donald Trump. You don't want none of that, boy. I'm telling you. 81 million people said what? You spied. I know. I'm with you, weekend. We like, well, dang, Cheryl. I mean, before the wash. So in case you didn't know, that is how your hair could look before the wash. So who looks like they're ready to wash their hair? Me or Cheryl? Y'all go ahead on and drop the vote in the chat. Who's ready to get their hair washed? They like, Dosha, you need to get your hair colored. You better not put that in the chat. If you put that in the chat, meet me at the playground at 1:45. Y'all know I ain't no fighter, but what's happening, good people? How are you guys doing on Facebook? What's happening, LinkedIn? We decided to put LinkedIn tonight because we have the one and only Mr. Waverly Willis is in the chat. We got a wonderful she said in the chat, well, in the back. Sorry, excuse me. He's in the green room, okay? So we had to bring LinkedIn. When you bring somebody like Waverly onto your platform,
yes,
you probably want to get the professional community in. And then we got our YouTube. What's up, LB? She got her some Wright shampoo. I hope you like it. I really do. You said you liked it in the chat. I'm very excited that you do because you know how much we love you. And then what's happened over on Instagram? Instagram, we are always excited to have you guys. Dang, Instagram came through. What's up, Calvin? I love you so much. What's happening, Miss Pantra? We got Miss B is in the chat, Cheryl.
Oh my God.
Miss B, if you Miss B, we got you coming on. And what's going on, sales insurance? Tell us what you are selling, because you're on a podcast with some wonderful people, and perhaps we could get you some business. So if you're selling insurance, you probably want to go ahead on and drop exactly what you're selling and how people can get in touch with you, because that's a wonderful handle. So what's happened over on Instagram? We are excited. This is our 53rd, or is this our 54th? Is it 55? Hold on. It might be our double nickel, Cheryl. I think it
It's
is. It might be our double nickel. I want to sound sexy. When you say double nickel, then that means you real grown and sexy. When you say, oh, you know what? It is our double nickel. Y'all come on and put
really
the 5 in the chat. Yeah. It's our 55th episode, and we are so excited to have someone who I admire. Like, oh, you guys just would not believe how much I admire him. His name is Mr. Waverly Willis, and you guys are going to be in for a real treat. So y'all want to stick around and stay in. We're going to be bringing him in momentarily. Not to mention my big brother Mo. Look at that, y'all. Look at my big bro Mo. Oh, hold on. Sorry, we can't. There he is. Let me give my brother a big old round of applause because I love my big brother. So. Oh, there you go. I dropped the bomb on you, bro. Sorry. Here you go, right here. So, like, get it together. I've been drinking on the job a little bit today. I had a trying day, I will admit. I've been drinking water. I've been drinking. All right. So what's up, Maurice? I love you so much. We're going to be hanging out next weekend. I'm going to hang out with my brother, and we're going to watch a movie and everything. So we got 55 episodes, and tonight the topic is barber and beauty voter engagement. Now, the question is, last week we talked about the hair of the politicians and, all what we should be doing in the hair salons with this whole, voting and talking to our customers and whatnot. So a lot of people have been like, we need to stay in our lane. I also had the opportunity I was invited, Cheryl and we were invited into, Tina Knowles, some friends of hers in the beauty industry. They had like a fundraiser campaign, and they were going to give some advice on what we should be doing in the beauty industry. They is all right. I ain't trying to hate on Tina. What they call her, Mama T?
yeah,
Or
Mama
something
T.
like Mama T, I ain't trying to hate on Beyonce mama, so y'all ain't gonna come and get me. But she was looking good though. Beyonce mama fine. I was like, dang,
She
my
was
mama don't look like that. Beyonce mama was fine. And so her peeps was in the chat over on Zoom, and they was doing the thing. So tonight, we're gonna do our own rendition of it. We're gonna do it a little bit differently, okay? So first of all, we cannot raise money for cameras. So what we not gonna do is we're not going to be asking you guys for any money, but we are going to bring Mr. Waverly Willis in. And so this gentleman is like, I wish there was some words I could find to describe Waverly. He actually sent me a link, right, to a video. Let me see if I can pull this up. But anywho, while I'm looking for the video to bring it on up. But Mr. Waverly is one of those people. Have you ever used that word quintessential on a gentleman? Sure, or Renaissance. But break down Renaissance right quick, sure. Renaissance.
People who are part of the
Oh yeah,
artists,
sure.
liberal arts. Okay, you can't hear me? You can hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you. Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah, but beautiful. Oh, but I believe Waverly is on the pulse of bringing in the new to any generation. I think that he is always involved with students and young people and always educating them on what's old and what's new and what's now, right? What's now. And he is just always involved. And so yeah, I would call him the one of the quintessential Renaissance Ohioans. The
Yeah, I was
Barber.
trying to find some. Waverly, I'll try to find some fine way to bring in. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Because
And right.
Cheryl talks that better than me. So that's why I passed it to Cheryl. Because Cheryl,
I
you
mean,
talk
I've only met him one
Renaissance. I'm
time.
trying to get a nice deal.
Yeah, his work is exemplary, and he's asset to any community. You guys are lucky to have him. Yep, lucky to have him.
Right. What was your impression of Waverly when you had the opportunity? Because you met him last year during the Afro Hair Science Summit, and he was at Ladosha Barbaria. So kind of share with them your as I'm because I'm going to pull up the video that he sent me in a moment. I'm just trying to, give us a little building time here. So share with them your thoughts and your experience with Waverly when you met him last year, working with those barbers.
Well, you really have to be stealth, right? And almost a little stoic to deal with all of especially when in the environment that I met him in. Very, I wouldn't say chaotic, but there's a lot going on. And when you have that kind of, I mean, that barber school was pretty big, but even in his own apprenticeships and his own barbers shops, you have to pay attention to. I found him very stealth and attentive, and you can't lead and not be a good listener. And so, I mean, you guys are just rocking it out in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and lucky really to have him as a barber leader and as a community leader. And so I look forward to the conversations. I know he's gonna drop some bombs too. You got it?
Yeah, that he most certainly will. Yeah.
I've only
I'm just letting
right
it
met him
spin
one
on
time.
out. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm gonna tell
Your
you. Go ahead. I'm
your
sorry.
your internet is not good tonight. Yeah, you're freezing a lot. Maybe you need to come.
Okay, just trying to get it back there. There we go.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, you were
Okay,
you.
mine was spinning. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know how it is. I'm in the hood. You know how it is. All right. So yeah. So we're talking about Waverly Willis. We had a little bit technical difficulty, and Cheryl had the opportunity to meet him last year at the Afro Hair Science Summit. I've had the opportunity to really be like a partner with him in helping to preserve and raise the standards here in cosmetology, and of course, he is a barber. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him in, and we're going to begin a nice discussion about this topic. And we're going to interview Waverly so you guys can get a feel for who he is. Now, if your barber ain't good like this, I'm going to tell y'all this right now before we put him up. Don't everybody try to go to Urban Cuts after this interview, okay? But he's definitely sure enough fascinating. I have his Facebook page that has a lot of content on there, pictures and things of that nature. So without further ado, I want you guys to do what they ask you to do at the concerts. They also ask you to do this at church. Maybe if you're in the kindergarten class, Miss Jones, take your right hand together and take your left hand together, and you're going to put them together, right? So over here, over there. And I would like for you guys to give a big round of applause, put some hand emojis in the chat for the one. Let me get up here so let me get my mic together. The only. Come on now, put your hands together, give a laugh of Jesus up here. I say, I'm about to bring them in now. One more. Okay, all right. My home slice, that's right here, Mr. Waverly Willis. There he is. Now, now I'm just gonna tell y'all know me. I'm just a sucker for a handsome face, right? Sorry, Waverly. But I'm gonna say it. Now, how they say, tell somebody if you've got something to say it to my face. Isn't that what Kamala said?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
And like
she said, if you got something to say,
say it to my face.
Say it to my face. So Waverly is one handsome brother. All right. So I said it to your face. All right.
Y'all making me blush on here.
It's true. Handsome, wonderful. We're very, very glad to have you. But before we begin to question who you are and why we are so honored to have you share your time with us this evening, we have a little funny thing that we do to irritate Cheryl. Well, I do it every Thursday at 9:00, and she's just shaking her head like, what's she gonna do today? So I'm gonna just do one because we're gonna get into the topic. But we do these things called reels, like REEL, and then it's like get real. And so Cheryl does not work behind the chair like you and I every day. And I try to tell Cheryl, I tell Cheryl Waverly every day the crazy things that we encounter behind the chair. And she just can't believe the things that really happens behind the chair. Now, this reel I know she gonna think it's crazy, but it's a very real lived experience of what we see. We know parents are capable of doing, and we've had to talk with parents about some of the things that they do with their children, they shouldn't do with their children when it comes to their hair and what they put in it. And Waverly, I know you have had your share of please do not put this in your child's hair. Okay. So I want you guys to get ready, because Cheryl is like, I don't believe what I just saw. All right. So Lawana Weekend, what's up, Curvy Asian doll? You already got some new cousins in the chat. Christopher Lee, what's happening? What's happening? So let's irritate Cheryl right quick. Instagram, we're gonna irritate Cheryl with just one reel, and this reel is called a real birthday celebration. You ready, Cheryl? Look at her face. She's like, Ladosha. Here we go, Waverly. I'm gonna irritate. Here she go. This really happens. Here we go.
Okay.
A real birthday celebration.
Say happy birthday to you. What the? Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Now, that is parents. Oh God!
Talk about ghetto fabulous.
Oh, they didn't put the baby. What you call that? The apple cider champagne. And see, but the problem with that is putting that in that baby's hair at the party.
Right, putting it in there. Period. What do you mean?
Check this out. That party would have been over.
That party would have. Let me show you one more again. Let me just show it to you one more time. I gotta show it to you one more time. Here we go. A real birthday celebration. Here we go. A real birthday celebration.
Say happy birthday to you. What the? Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Even the kid was like, oh, hell no. Did y'all see that? The kid was like, no, the kid said, I know you ain't just pour this, look, everybody like, weekend on the baby's head. No, everybody's in the chat. No. And sure, I know you might find this very, very hard to believe, but not only do parents put like, liquids in the kids' hair, but they do things like put yogurt. What's the plant? Aloe vera. Don't they, Waverly? They like to just take raw aloe vera and just put this stuff in.
Like literally squeeze it out the plant.
And unbelievable.
The internet is a dangerous thing. Y'all know that.
Yeah. That's why, we're doing the World Afro Hair Day over the weekend. And one of the things that, because Chrissy and I went down to Cleveland Public Schools, they had a book, what's that they give away? School supplies, duh. So they were giving away school supplies, right? And so we were the only salon there. Waverly does these types of things as well. And the parents were coming up and they was just like, oh, y'all a hair salon? We was like, oh, hey, hi, hello. And they was like, y'all charge too much money. Y'all, and they were just like, I got 4 kids, I got 3 kids. And they were explaining to us how these braids, like this stuff is really, and I'm just like, oh, okay. We could, you should be doing your own.
Should have said, I got 5 kids. That's why I got to charge so much.
And so the thing, so the place where we're taking the, we're going to do the event, the lady was saying, well, I don't understand why y'all got to come and do the workshop. They could just go on YouTube. And that video right there, it just captures. These are things that and hopefully Waverly will be able to cover some of this of why social media is really not the place when you need that one-on-one instructions. And so that video there now, of course we ain't saying all parents is pouring, apple cider, juice onto the kids' hair. But we know that parents are putting things in the children's hair that really shouldn't be there. And so please, guys, don't do that. All right. What's up, Theo? We see you in the chat. A couple of shout outs before we talk a little bit more to Waverly Willis. What's going on? Curvy Asian Dow. That's our new cousin. Don't forget. Oh, she curvy. And oh, look at her. She fine. You look good, girl. What your phone number is? Just drop 7 of them digits in the chat. We don't need all 10 of them. There she is. A big round of applause. There she is. Everybody give it up for Miss Curvy Asian Dow. Welcome. We're so nice to have new folks in the chat. And then we also have, hold on, wait a minute. Again, my brother Maurice. We have Wike. Of course, we have LB. It's in the chat. Christopher Lee, welcome. And then over on Instagram names pop up so fast I can't possibly hit everybody. But what's up, Mike L. Cuts and Johnson Ross. And then, of course, Calvin Poe. We went to elementary school together. So, and everybody else on Instagram, we are so honored. We love the fact that you guys support the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. And tonight, we are about to have a wonderful interview with Mr. Waverly Willis. He is the owner of Urban Cuts. He's the educator, a barber extraordinaire. He's a philanthropist. He's a lover of mankind. And he, of course, is my friend and someone who I truly admire. And we have worked tirelessly, I don't even know how many years, just fighting to save the education of barbering and cosmetology in the state of Ohio. I've seen Waverly really be put to the test as a brother against some serious adversaries on the other side. And Waverly, man, I ain't gonna put all our business out there, but I just seen some people come down so hard on Waverly. I was just like, man, you know what, Waverly? Yeah. So without further ado, Waverly, can you just share everybody a little bit about right quick. I'm sorry. Before we do that, I don't know if everybody, I'm sure everybody in the chat is aware, but just in case you are not aware, I didn't want to do the second reel because instead of doing the reel, I wanted to send a rest in peace to the one and only Mr. Frankie Beverly. We're not allowed to like play the music, guys, but if you could drop your favorite Frankie Beverly song in the chat. Cheryl, I know you love Frankie Beverly too. Waverly is like, yeah. Cheryl, any Frankie Beverly memories that you
either one, obviously saddened by just the breakup of Maze. Those were a band of brothers, and just in the last years that those relationships have been strained, but good. I think that they got that relationship together, and because he's like, I think he is one of, in terms of music, he is officially like Mr. Black culture. And so one of my favorite songs is, if I wanted to just put it out there, Look at California.
Hey, man. Oh, hey, Waverly. When I first met Cheryl, I ain't gonna lie. Cheryl, did I not send that song to you? Man, if you have not heard Look at California, man, it's such a beautiful song. He wrote songs about, I felt like he was just a connector of mankind. No matter what we do, we are one.
Yes, we are one.
Yeah.
All the time of day.
Golden Time of Day, Happy Feelings. Of
Happy
course,
Feelings. That was my joint right there.
Before I Let Go. I don't like the way Beyonce did Before I Let Go, but I'm staying on. I'm old.
Left alone.
I'm with see, Waverly. I'm with you. Before I Let Go. Oh my God.
Go.
Oh man. And then before he was with Maze, he was, I shouldn't say just, he was Frankie Beverly, and he just has so much beautiful music. My mother and them, they loved Frankie Beverly. And so in my mind, when I think of Frankie Beverly, I think of the music and marijuana, because that's when reefer, it was called reefer back in the day. Now they like the bomb bud and the chronic. When I was growing up, it was just called reefer.
Yeah.
Weed, you know what I'm saying?
Grass.
Yeah. Did you say grass? And they make it such a big deal. When I was growing up, I was like, okay, so somebody smoke reefer, anywho, keep going. But anywho, it's just a wonderful soul, wonderful spirit. So so rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. You are definitely in the soundtrack of my life.
Absolutely.
And have, just made my life so much better. I've listened to him to come through so much stuff. I've used his music. We played it, when we found out he passed away. So we would be a bootleg, podcast if we did not acknowledge Frankie Beverly. So I just wanted to, say that right quick before we do that. So, all right. Thanks, guys, for letting us pay some homage to Frankie Beverly. Y'all go ahead on and listen to that list, California. You won't regret it. If you haven't heard it, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Oh, I didn't know this. Here we go. Theo said he used to open up for Marvin Gaye. Who knew? Okay, Cheryl's like, yep, Cheryl know everything, Waverly. She be making me be like,
but man, let me tell you something. They all used to be, jazz festivals and shit. Come on now.
Well, I mean, see, like Marvin Gaye died. I don't know that much about Marvin Gaye, so I'm not a Marvin Gaye. I'm not a Marvin Gaye fan. I like Marvin Gaye's music, but I don't really know anything about except my dad loved Marvin Gaye, right? And he had this little picture of Marvin Gaye, and I thought Marvin Gaye was like my dad's real friend, right, Waverly? When my father passed, and the picture fell on the ground, like I said,
"Where's Uncle Marvin at? He ain't come to the funeral."
And when I turned the picture over, guess what it was? It was the back of an album cover. So all my life I grew up thinking that was a personal picture of Marvin Gaye. And my father had Maurice, am I making it up? My brother is in the chat. He had like this red hat on, like a little beanie hat.
It was a cutout of an album. Oh my God.
Yes, it was a cutout of an album with this red hat on. And all my life, I thought that was a personal picture of Marvin Gaye. And when my dad passed away, I knocked the picture over. And when it fell out the front, I was like, oh my God. I said, is that an album cover? So, but that was my dad's era. So, anywho. Big ups, y'all. We got our de facto producer is in the chat, Esther T. Jones. Waverly, this young lady is responsible for why you're here tonight. She gave us the idea to interview people. And Ms. so, Jones,
thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Everybody, can we give Miss Esther also a big round of applause? We like to acknowledge her. She's not always able to join us, but when she does, we give her a round of applause. So, Waverly, tell everybody a little bit about who is Waverly Willis, the barber, and then I want you to come back and tell us who Waverly Willis is, the dad and the G-pop, because you have two sides. So we don't know. We always see you on Facebook, the barber, but there is another side, and I want people to know that other side because I think barbers have a certain persona, and I'm not knocking the other persona, but I want people to know both sides. So share with us who you are as Waverly Willis, the barber, the educator, then come back and share with us who you are as a husband, a dad, and a grandfather.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say thank you, Ladosha. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing your platform with me. I love and admire the both of you. Ladosha, you are correct. You and I have definitely been in the trenches together for some years. The barber and cosmetology industry has no idea how many trips we've made to Columbus and fought head to head with legislators and things of that nature just to save our industry. So again, I want to thank you and tell you that I appreciate you. If no one has ever told you that, which I'm sure plenty of people have.
Thank you.
Who is Waverly Willis? Waverly Willis, the barber. My name is Waverly Willis. I own 3 Urban Cuts barbershop. So I guess you can say I own a chain of barbershops. You know, I just found that out. Somebody told me. So I'm proud of that. I'm from East Cleveland. I went to Shaw High School. I've been a barber for class of 89. Yeah, you didn't know that, Dose? Yep. Went to Shaw High School, class of 89. And I've been a barber professionally for 20 years, but I was the hood barber. And the way that I got to be a barber, funny story. Now I can say it's a funny story. My mom used to cut my brothers and our hair. And, you know, she was a single mom, couldn't afford to take us to a barber. And she wanted her little black boys to look neat. And she used to sit us down about every 3 weeks to cut our hair. And I remember I was like 10 years old. And my mom, she sat me down. She coming to me with the clippers. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I grabbed her wrist and I said, Mom, can I just cut my own hair? Because when my mom used to send us to school with these haircuts, all the kids used to laugh and point fingers at us. And so I asked her if I can cut my own hair. And so Mom said, sure, you know, I don't care as long as it get cut, you know. And so I started cutting my own hair. And I got the same results, probably worse than my mom's results, you know. Still same thing, kids laughing, pointing fingers at me. But I kept at it, you know. Again, a barber wasn't it wasn't an option. So I just kept going. And like anything you practice, you get better at. So the same kids that was laughing and pointing fingers at me, they discreetly started pulling me to the side and asked me if I could cut their hair. That's when I knew I was on to something. You know what I'm saying? And so Saturday mornings, my mom would wake me up because it would be a line of people at my back door. And so my mother, the way our house was set up, she could see the people coming in and out the back door, and she would count the heads. I was charging $3 at the time. And my mother she would count all the heads up, and she would charge me $2 per head because it was her venue, it was her electricity, and it was her clipper. And so she made me go out and buy my own clippers, and she took it down to $1 a person. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I learned that there is no such thing as a free lunch.
No.
You know, so I was being charged booth rent at an early age. I was mad at it, but I see the value as a grown man, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I got my skills up in the streets, you know, cutting hair in the projects. What I also am is an alcoholic, a dope fiend. I'm in recovery and I have been for 20 years. So I was the guy that was in front of the Greyhound station picking up cigarette butts off the ground with a cup in his hand, asking you if I could please get some change. I was the guy asking you if I could pump your gas. You know, so the only thing I didn't sell, I've lost homes with an S, cars with an S, relationships with an S behind my alcohol and drug addiction. The only thing I did not sell was my clippers, you know. And I used to be probably the most well-groomed dope fiend in Cleveland. And people would say, you got, you know, I had hair back then. They would say, man, you got a nice cut. You got, you know, and I'd be like, years and years ago, it used to be a few outlets in Cleveland, a few bus outlets that had an outlet in it. And so I would tell them, look, I can take care of you right now. Or I'll be at the Greyhound station, in the bathroom, the RTA station, you know, in restaurant bathrooms, rec center bathrooms. And I was trying to make $5, $10. If I made 10, I would go buy me a $5 piece of crack. And I think it was $3.27 at the time, a $3.27 bottle of Mad Dog or Wild Hours Rose. And that's how I spent my days. You know, I never knew that cutting hair in the projects and just coming up, like grandma used to say, coming up on the rough side of the mountain. it would morph into a full-fledged barber career. I stumbled across Barber College. One of my friends told me, I don't know what it's called now. It's called VGS, Vocational Guidance Services. And I went to them and I told them that I wanted to be a barber. And the people told me that I didn't have any work. I didn't have a background. So they said, why should we spend all this money on you to be a barber? And so they sent me to these programs, and I had to go put on the neon vest with, and I'm not trying to be politically correct, with people that had mental problems, and just clean the toilets. I had to do that for 3 months, and I came back because I didn't have any work experience. They wanted to make sure, thank you, Miss Jones. They wanted to make sure that I was worthy of the investment of Barber College. And so I went, did that for 3 months, came back. They said, well, my supervisor said they want you to do another 3 months. I did it. Now, mind you, I'm still an addict at the time, but I was making myself go to this program because I knew being a barber would be my last shot. And so they sent me to get all these psych evaluations and things of that nature. And I did the last 3 months, and they said, I see you did it, but our professionals told us, the psychiatrists, psychologists, they told us that we shouldn't pay for your barber college because you shouldn't work around people. They said we should pay for you to be like a truck driver or help you get your tow motor certification so you can like work in a warehouse. And there's nothing wrong with those two occupations or industries. And I sat there and I teared up and I said, I'm cool. And she like, well, where you go? And I said, I'm going back to the street. And she like, so you are going to turn down this opportunity to change your life with those other two occupations? And I said, look, man, I just want to be a barber.
Wow.
And so I left. And so I didn't have an address. I was homeless at the time. And I would check in with my mom every now and then. And months later, my mom told me, I gave her address. She like, this lady keeps, and she used to open my mail because she knew I was messing up. She said, this lady keeps sending you letters. So I called her. She said, come to my office. And she said, I could not believe that you wanted to go back to being homeless instead of driving trucks or the other stuff that we offered you. She said, so I'm going to take a chance on you. And so she sent me to barber school. But again, an addict got a slick mouthpiece. I was still in active addiction. Now, barber college takes about 9.5 months to a year. It took me 2.5 years to graduate from barber college.
Wow.
Because my first year is when I met my sponsor. So I used to just basically sleep in the back of the school at the shampoo bowl. And my first sponsor, his name was Odie Burton, God rest his soul. He came out and he told me, we can recognize, addict can recognize an addict. Plus, I smelled like last night. I slept at the bus stop down the street from the barber college. I went to the one on Broadway, Ohio Barber Academy.
Okay.
So he got me into treatment. I'm a condensant. He got me into treatment, and I was the last person that he got into treatment. As I was coming in, he was coming out. And when he came out the program a month later, he OD'd and died.
Aww.
And so I knew everything was divinely ordered, So I went to school. Once I got in treatment, I told them I had to take a leave of absence, and they granted that to me. And I left. And when I came back, because we had to do group therapy for like 3 to 6 months, so we could not do nothing outside of that facility. And when I came back, I knew another divine intervention was my locker was still there. I didn't have a lock on my locker. My book was still there. My smock in this school, everybody stole everything in this school. Everything was still there, y'all.
Okay.
And
all
so,
right. And
so I finished barber college, and the second year I came out of school, and I was living in the barber college. I was living in a homeless shelter my first year out of barber college, and I just built from there,
Wow.
And I started noticing, just men having the same problems as me, far as addiction, far as literacy, far as emotional problems, social emotional problems, economic problems, pride, relationship problems, just problems. And so I had built this platform up, and guys was coming to me for advice, and I'm like, they don't know, man, I'm a dope fiend. They don't know who they talking about. But I was, just getting my footing in my foundation. And so that's when I started checking the blood pressures at the shop, and, having the guys go get their prostate exams. And I just noticed that the good Lord gave me a platform, and my platform is just not to cut hair. That's why I call myself America's favorite barber.
All right, I got something for that. Okay.
A bunch of my students said, Mr. Willis, how you call yourself America's favorite barber, and we'll never see you cutting no hair? And I said,
well, America's favorite barber is on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Now, Cheryl's dad is also was also a barber, and
absolutely.
So he had passion as well. Cheryl, do you draw any parallels on Waverly's passion to cut hair, though your father's path was different, but he definitely had a passion for cutting hair? So do you see any type of parallel or similarities rather between Waverly and your dad, who was staunch on being a barber?
And a passion for us.
I don't talk about, my experience with being a barber as well, but I will say that his application of the principles, and most people don't know the correlation of why barbering, alongside of salons, is two different institutions. And the institution of barbering is really, I would probably say 80% life science. And the 20 is including into the chair, because the correlation of a man with a blade, the correlation, as he taught me, was that even though your tool of trade is, the sword or a blade or a razor or a clipper, it is the complete integration of how you sharpen your mind, sharpen your life, and how you are that same blade. And if you apply yourself and sharpen yourself, you can cut through anything. And so that is basically Waverly. That is, man, you're in the league of extraordinary gentlemen.
That is so awesome! Wow, that's just. I just love Cheryl. Cheryl just know how to get it.
That's one of my favorite movies too. So thank you so much.
Wow, that's totally awesome. Now, I ask Cheryl this all the time. I want you to share with us the other side of your life, and we're going to get to the topic, guys. But I want you guys to know this gentleman who we're speaking with, Mr. Waverly Willis. He's the owner of Urban Cuts and an educator, so much more in the barber industry here in Cleveland, Ohio. In case you guys have just joined us, we appreciate you all so much. Our topic tonight is barber and beauty voter engagement, and this is an interview with Waverly Willis, and he just shared with us how he became a barber, and now he's going to share with us the other side. Now, I think this other side is really, really, really important, because this particular platform, Planet Pluto Pseudo, is specifically for those of us in the industry, and balancing a family and having your business, that does not get talked about. Now, Cheryl's dad, I asked Cheryl, and she said she never really thought about it like that, but how does she feel about sharing her dad with people like me, who would just always just, I'm trying to get to Dr. Morrow, but to her, that's dad. And so you're like a Dr. Willie Morrow. Everybody wants a piece of Waverly, but you have a wife, you have children, you have a grandson, the president, by the way. I know. So share with us the other side, because I want people to see us professionals in another light of who you are. When you turn to the left, you're the barber, the philanthropist, the entrepreneur, the community activist. And then to the right, your dad, your pop or grandpa, and your honey buns.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a wonderful, wonderful wife. God gave me the perfect wife because um, she does not mind sharing me because she knows that all of the causes that I decide to be a part of are needed for our people. So I have 4 grown daughters, and the young gentleman you see me with, that's Mr. President. That's my grandson Dallas. And years ago, once I got into the industry, I was married to the chair, and I just through sharing on my platform, I'm talking to men that are truck drivers, that are barbers, and they spent too much time away from home. And
Mm.
so, through diligence and consistency, my clientele built up really fast. And I decided that I'm not going to be married to this chair. So, um, it seemed like the time away from the chair is filled up with other stuff. But I do a good job of balancing everything out. Literally, I just came from my grandson's 3 basketball practices today. He wanted to stay for 4 to practice with the high school kids. And you know what he said on the ride home? I said, I got to get home to do the Miss Ladosha's podcast. He was like, man, I hate being famous. And I'm like, what? He was like, I was just on the news this week. I don't know if you saw his first little interview for reading last week on Channel 5. And he was like, you always, got something to do. And I'm like, I know, man. But I do a decent job of giving my family their time. My daughters, they grown and they gone now. So they come around when they need. They don't even come around when they need money no more. We got Cash App and Zelle and all that.
Yeah.
They'll come around when they want the grill fired up or something like that. But I do a decent job at balancing everything. But yeah, my wife, she really likes the causes and stuff. That my wife is a real. Let me find it. She's a real soul sister.
That she is. She's a super duper soul sister. She fine too now. I'm just saying, y'all on the page she fine now. I ain't gonna All right, so there we have 2 sides of Waverly. My brother says that's your experience. Keep persevering through hardships, and if you fall, get back up. No matter how long it takes, you will succeed. And so that's yes. My brother, he knows the struggle also. And I wanted to tell you that my mom went through that VGS, the same program.
Really?
Yes, she did. Yes, she sure did. Yes. What's
And
up, Sir
I think it's Ohio Means Jobs now. Is that more?
I'm not quite sure, but I remember that.
Did.
Yeah, I remember that with the green letters or whatever. But now we're going to move over. Now that we know who you are professionally, and we know the other side, the balance and sharing. And like I said, I asked Cheryl that a lot. Like how does she feel sharing her dad with all of these people? So Cheryl, as the child of a barber like a Waverly, who you had all these people nagging. How was your dad able, like Waverly said, he found a balance? How was your dad? How did you feel, rather, as you observed your father balance a demanding career like barbering and above with all the other things that he had to do with you and your siblings and your mom, of course?
Oh, he did it the best way, I guess. In how he fixed it. He fixed it with one slick. He allowed and wanted and invited his family into his world. Yeah. And of course, obviously, dad and husband is separated. But, and of course, he's my dad. He wasn't my husband. So I have to ask my mom about that part. But I was just saying to myself earlier today, because of course he's all around, my house, right? I had a great dad, and because I was a part of his world, there was no real major separation. So if I did want to talk, we talk at the office, because there was a lot of time when he wasn't doing nothing because everybody else was doing it. You know what I mean? So we could, and some of our best talks in our later years were at the office. They weren't at home. But, you know, I told him so many times, as the great Maya Angelou would say, you know, as hairstylists and beauty professionals and barbers, we got to just realize that making a living is not making a life.
Wow. That's pretty powerful. And there's Cheryl and her father. And boy, when you say he immersed you into the career, I thought this picture, like, well, I got proof of what she's talking about there. Okay. So
I remember that.
Yeah, so rest in power, Dr. Willie Morrow and Waverly. You're definitely on the shoulder of a giant. So I feel honored to have you two on this screen together, and I'm sure everyone in the chat does. So now we're going to move over into the topic of barber and beauty voter engagement. We know that you have a lot of activism here in Cleveland by way of really speaking out and be a staunch supporter for preserving the education of barbering. So let's just focus on barbers. Cosmetologists, we are not going to be the focus tonight. It's going to be all about barbers. So if you are a barber or you have a passion for cutting hair, then this part of the interview you're most certainly going to enjoy. So let's start off with your passion to save education in barbering, because that's where your voter engagement kind of has an under right there, so to speak. So how did you get into, or when did it come to your attention that the barber industry, that education is in real big trouble?
I got a good relationship with some of the people at our board, and they was kind of telling me what's coming. You know, when the barber and cosmetology industry merged, what was it, 5 or 6 years ago? Maybe longer than that, Ladosha?
About 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. Did you know that they had been intending on doing that since like 2012? And I'm sure you know that. You know,
Cheryl, you guys have had barbers and cosmetology in California. That has always been under one umbrella, correct? In California.
Not always. Not always. Not always.
Yeah. Well, Cleveland was probably one of the last. I'm sorry, Ohio is probably one of the. You know, we're late to the
last ones because we have been fighting it. You know, tooth and nail the whole ride. We just wanted to have our own separate boards, and so it was a lot of things that, far as them reducing the hours, I knew that was coming. And the thing was, it was all smoke and mirrors. You know, Ladosha, me and you deal with enough politicians to know it's all smoke and mirrors. You know, whose palms have gotten greased in order to make this happen. So they was masking it like it's for the betterment of the industry. And my question was, well, who did you talk to? Because I know at $1,800, I still got to help the new guy that I bring, or the new guy or new girl that I bring, the new barber that I bring in. So if you're trying to cut them down to $1,200, I can't do nothing with them. But guess who can?
Well, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate, because you know, Key Lolo, I just like to keep shit started. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the issue is, you know, with the barbering is that, you know, I mean, it's my God-given talent. You know, and a lot of men are saying that the education is an impediment, you know, to a raw talent that a barber school just cannot deliver. And so, how are you able to? Because you know, you a brother. I'm not knocking the other kind of brothers.
And I was a hood barber.
Right.
I started off with that.
And I'm not saying all barbers are brothers. But them the ones that kind of are in that middle.
I get it.
Yeah, they're the ones that's kind of, you know, you know. So how are you? Yeah, how are you addressing that school of thought that barbering is really it's a talented man's skill. Now, Cheryl's thing about the sharpness of the blade, I don't know if they would have, kind of broke it down like you did, Cheryl. But Tara, what are you saying to the to that school of thought that here you are, you one of us, and now you code switching is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I've had.
Go ahead.
Would you say? And I've had this conversation. First, education on any level is never an impediment. If this is what you do, you should want to learn every nook and cranny of it. So I think that that's an excuse for them not wanting to go to school. Barbering is more than just taking some clippers and going across somebody's head. It's more than taking a razor blade and going around somebody's lineup. Anything that you want to do, if you are truly passionate about it, you should want to know everything about it. When I got in school, I couldn't wait to learn, when I'm going through the book, the history of barbering and then infection control. And I'm like, I didn't realize how dirty of a hood barber I was until I got into barber school. I wasn't cleaning my clippers right. And neither are they. I didn't know how to recognize no skin conditions.
How many people in the chat? How many people in the chat got some of them bumps on their neck?
Right.
Go ahead, y'all. Right. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Now, sure, you had a school of thought about what I asked Waverly about code switching, because I'm sure he's been accused of that, because he's from Ladosha from the hood, Waverly from the hood. Now y'all got these little educations. So what is your school of thought about people who are saying that barbering is just is a talent thing? And we get the whole, y'all keep talking about, and that kept coming up, in our fight, was that how many people have really had issues from a dirty, blade or a dirty clipper? I mean, are people really, is that really an issue when really talent is the thing? So what is your school of thought about, people who are saying the talent over the education?
Cutting is a talent. Barbering is a career.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Mm-hmm. You may be talented in hair cutting, but the problem is that if we can make a really good comparison here. I mean, there's been many basketball players that have gone, been played and gone. They can shoot a basketball. It was before it was, Oscar Robinson. Then there was, you know what I mean? Then you had, Allen Iverson. Then you got Kobe Bryant. At the end of the day, who cares? It's just a dime a dozen. These are great players, but we Black. We can't just bring, it's in our blood to be, Mr., your excellency.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That is your talent. But there's many people who are going to come behind you. I mean, who would have known that there was going to be a Michael Jordan after Wilt Chamberlain? Who knew that? But who knew that there was going to be a Steph Curry? I mean, it's like the point is the practicing of what you do with that talent in the whole totality of what you're doing in your 360-degree barber career. Where is that going to take you? Your hands are going to get sore. They're going to get itis. They're going to get swollen. They're going to get tired. Your wrist going to have carpal tunnel syndrome. That is a means to an end.
All right. So let's see in the chat. Let's see how many people on both sides. We got all the platforms are open. They're doing pretty good. We're pretty full. How many people in the chat feel that barbering is one of those careers that a person does not have to go to school for? Let's just see, put a yes if you feel that they should have more education. and a no if you feel like, well, my cousin cuts hair, and I ain't never had no issues. I don't feel like he should go to school. So let's just get a yes or no. Let's get a vote. And while we're waiting people to give us a vote, Waverly, now that we have a clear understanding of your position on education and everything, so now that you have the education, you're in the barber shop. People see barbers as people who, pretty much y'all just cut hair, shave, maybe color, maybe do a little chemical service. But for the most part, you guys are going to cut hair, right?
Right.
And so
but before I cut hair, I learned how to set up a business, an LLC. My daughters don't know how to cut hair. But when Waverly Willis, the barber, is dead and gone, Urban Cuts, the chain will still be around. All they got to do is pay this bill, this bill, this bill, and collect the money from them. When he leave, go to him and get some more barbers. Keep this going. You can't pay. You go past the basement down. You go past your clippers while you're in the basement down to your son. You see what I'm saying? It's more than just cutting hair. I'm talking about a generational wealth thing, because I'm working on some other stuff now. My businesses run themselves. Ladosha, really, I'm in the shop 1 or 2 days a week. I see my VIP clients, and then that's what makes room for me to do so much other stuff. And I'm going to talk to you in private, but I'm about to start school for something else, because now I can build different revenue streams. And these revenue streams I can pass down to my children. You can't do that from cutting hair in the basement.
So you're along the lines of what Cheryl is saying, that this is a career that ladies and gentlemen who are taking this career path, if you're already in it, Cheryl and Waverly is saying that there's more to this career than what the blade is showing you. And so you have to take into consideration what those other options are, because to you guys, obviously, there's infinite opportunities of what you can do with your career beyond cutting hair, because Cheryl just said at some point you may have some issues. Now, we know some people don't. We're not trying to, scare you guys, but this is not my lane, so I'm just kind of reiterating.
I got carpal tunnel in both of them. So this is my lane. I done had the surgery on this hand already. I don't want to do it on this one. So your hands is gonna give out sooner. Yeah, you can pass the talent down to your son, but you can't pass the shop down to your son because you don't have a license.
Wow.
What about that part? You can't go to the bank and say, I cut hair in my basement. Can I get $100,000 loan? They go say no.
Well, what people don't realize, let's just say, and not to make the correlation with sports, but you have to understand the physical part is only that's where the talent ends.
Yeah, that's it.
No one talked Michael Jordan out of going to UNC. They made him go actually and get his advice was go graduate, because one trains your hands and the other one trains your mind.
Wow.
Yeah. The mind and hands meet together, you're going to have a full career, and you're going to know how to do business when your talent connected to your hands. That's a physicality. And that's one of the things why I retired. And it was tendonitis in my elbow. It did hurt.
I had to drop the bomb on that. That was a bomb drop situation right there. So a lot of people. So now you guys are getting a clear understanding of that you do have options, and they're not knocking the talent, but we have that. You guys want to take some other things into consideration. So now that we're moving this along, we're moving into something. So now we have the issue of you said they're playing politics. With this hair thing, you see something going on, and that's very hard. Now, I watched a politician really come down hard on you, really hard,
Mm-hmm.
during this one hearing, that I mean, my blood was just curdling, and you just handled. Um, and I don't. I'm kind of struggling trying to, because I don't want to make it seem like these people are racist, because I don't know them. So it would just be my personal interpretation what I'm about to say. But I just really felt like they were really intimidated by Waverly's complexion, his voice, and just his staunch position on what was taking place. You were letting them know that you knew that the change the lives were behind this.
Right.
And so
And,
at the
and
end of
and
the
that's why he
day,
came at me like that, because of his,
yeah,
you know.
right. So now we're moving into this voter engagement. You're telling people, okay, this is how I got into it. This is where I'm at. I have now come to understand that I have a business responsibility, not just
Mhm.
cutting hair, but in addition to this business responsibility, now I've got to speak up. What
It's
are
a
you saying
community
to a
responsibility.
community responsibility? What are you saying to those barbers who are like, uh, we that ain't our lane, bro. That ain't
Um,
we can't be, because I'm not about to be coming from behind no chair, going down. I got my problems of my own. Not, Flavor Flav. I can't do nothing for you, man. That's not our lane, Wade. What you doing?
well, you know what? That's a great question, Dosha. And social media will make you believe everything is rainbows and butterflies. But I had that conversation quite a bit. And over the years, I've stopped focusing so much on trying to convince those people.
Mm.
So if I got 100 people that I'm wasting time trying to join my cause, and I got 10 people that want to get on board, forget them 100. I'm rocking with these 10
But
because
is that
we
something a barber should be doing? Should a barber be really using that influence for that, or should he be focused on, I'm trying to get legacy? Like Waverly got 3 barbershop. Waverly got, I want what Waverly got. I ain't got. Should they really be talking what you're saying about this voter engagement, this political stuff? Because, in school, we're saying 2 things you don't talk about, right, Cheryl?
politics and
Politics
religion.
and really. All right, now. All
Right.
right, all right. Drop y'all questions in the chat for Waverly. He's up, and
Well,
I'm getting him on fire here tonight as we talk about barber and beauty voter engagement. And now we're getting right into the discussion. So Waverly, take it away. Hey, bro, we shouldn't be doing this, man. You out your lane, Wave.
and if you want to go by the traditional standards that all three of us was taught by, as you just said a moment ago, don't talk about politics and religion. But that's the old school mantra. I push back against that because this world got to be better when I leave here for my kids and my grandson, Mr. President. And so that's what I tell them. Just the very fact that you saw the exchange between me and the politician, and you are very politically correct by saying, he seemed to be this, that, or the other. But we both black, Dosha. We know that man was racist. And I had just uncovered their plot in front of all of those people. And that's why he addressed me the way that he did. So again, I have to leave this world a better place. And I just can't not speak up against stuff that is not right for my people. So now when politicians want to come have seats with me, those are the first question I ask them is, what are you going to do for black people? I don't care about what you're about to do. If it's for the county, I don't care about what you're doing in Westlake. I don't care what you're doing over here. That's my number one question. What you go do for black people?
So
And
now, how is a barber to come to the place where you're at? Like, at what point did you say, I'm gonna have to hold this haircut because I got to go over here and handle this man and ask him that question? How does a barber have that a come to the political moment? You got to come to Jesus moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How does
Well,
a barber come to that moment?
as far as having to sit down with the politician,
Yeah.
at this point in my career, Doge, they call me. They ask me if they can take me to lunch. And so I'm downtown at the Union Club and I'm listening to their rhetoric. And that's the question that they get asked. Now, earlier in my career, you know, I was the guy popping up in the back of the room with the loud mouth. I was at the city council meetings, you know, challenging some of them. And again, this is earlier in my career. And I guess they said to themselves, oh, that's that barber with the big mouth. Like, I might want to be friends with him. You know what I'm saying? But it's for the cause of my people. You know, I was shut out earlier in my career. Banks and funders wouldn't deal with me. And I know it's because I'm Black. You know, more people ask me, how many years in the penitentiary did you do? Because I'm large, I'm dark skinned, I got a heavy voice, I got a beard. Ain't nobody ask me about my degree that I do have. You know what I'm saying? I've been.
I forgot to mention. In case you didn't know, he's also a distinguished member of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
So you have a degree as well?
Yeah, I do have a degree. I don't necessarily talk about my degree because so many guys, I see them get intimidated, and you don't have to do a degree to open your mouth and speak up against wrong. You know what I'm saying? I've never publicly said I got a degree. This is like the first platform that I said I got a degree from Cleveland State in nonprofit administration. But I don't talk about it because I don't need that degree.
You don't need that degree
to do. I don't need it to cut hair. I don't need it to ask a politician what's he going to do for the Black community. And if they don't have something specific lined up for the Black community, no, I'm not coming to your rally. No, I'm not. I need to know specifically what you go do. How much money are you putting aside? You know, and I'm doing this stuff. I don't want no. Most of the people, when they sitting down with them, they want a position or something like that. I don't want nothing. I just want you to say publicly, if I get elected, I'm gonna push X amount of dollars away for this empowerment zone over there too, and over there. Say that what you said to me at this lunch. Say that publicly, and then we can rock. Because if you're not
and then you say, okay, so Waverly is saying that, excuse me, he is at the point in his career as a barber. In case you're wondering, how do you make this transition? You guys are seeing things happen. You're behind the chair. You're in these communities, right? And as we're moving into voter engagement, now you're beginning to see your role beyond cutting hair, because you see things, and some of you want to say something and some of you don't. So Waverly saying
also to that point of us being behind the chair, they want to know the conversations that's being had in our businesses.
And who are they?
The politicians.
Okay.
You know, the people that's running for the office, because they know as hair industry professionals that we have a pulse, a real-time pulse in the community. Police come to the barbershop and the salon all the time. When somebody done got shot and ain't nobody talking, I done had so many police pull up on me, and other barbers have. I don't know if you have, probably so though, to see what really happened. You know,
that's true.
And Cheryl, I see that smile on your face.
Oh yeah. I wrote about it in my book. Sure. Cheryl, did your dad, did he get involved in politics, or did he feel like, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on with this, you know, ammonium thioglycolate and all this other stuff. I want to take a pause from that. Or did your dad find a way, or did he have the same experience as Waverly, with politicians literally wanting to hear from him because they felt he was a person of influence of sorts?
Mr. Morrow taught us in his community, or at least in his inner working circle, a little different angle on politics. And it wasn't really that much of the politics, but he definitely had a vision that he knew that he needed to take his capitalist, racist, his money, because my father was a racist, by the way, okay, and a capitalist, right? He knew he needed to take his money, his racist attitude. I didn't say prejudice, and I didn't say bigot, which are totally different things. But he knew that he wanted his business to buy his politicians. He knew that. Okay. He also knew that if barbers and hairstylists did not organize, then like that young man you're talking about, and people who don't really want to get in politics, well, they don't have an interest. You can't convince people that they have a right to something when they don't have an interest.
Right.
So they don't feel that they have an interest. So Mr. Morrow wanted to use his money, his beliefs, and the love of his people and his money to buy his politicians. And he wanted to band with other business people, because if you let a politician come to you and tell you what they gonna do, you ain't gonna get shit. You are not supposed to allow a politician to come to you and say, what are you? I have a long list. Come here. I got a long list. And when Black people understand that the politics of Black communities, and I know they do want to come and talk to you, they want to come talk to, barbers and hairstylists. The problem is that we don't have an organization. We're not organized. So we don't have an interest. So we need to tell them. So Mr. Morrow made sure that he understood we want A, B, C, and D. And this person right here is going to be appointed. And this person you call for the Chamber of Commerce. And this person at the here. Now, what we going to do is have a fundraiser for your ass. And we want you tied into our interest. And we want you to get your ass to that city hall and legislate on our behalf. Because it's interest. Now, that's how, to answer your question, that is how Mr. Morrow engaged. He then wanted to make sure that he got a newspaper, because he wanted some ink, because if your ass didn't do right, he wanted to talk about your ass, okay? And he wanted to because at the end of the day, if you don't behold them to you or endear them to you, or they don't understand that they work for you, then they think that they're going to tell you what you should have. No.
All right. Okay. So let's pause right there. Because I think that in our, in our spaces and places, in these cosmetology or hair salons rather, and barber shops, we could just, start right from where you're at, that there are things that we want to see happen in our communities, right, Waverly? Yeah, and so absolutely. We have a lot of people who feel like it is up to the politician to do it. But you and Cheryl are saying, no, actually, we have a civic responsibility, and we can bring our issues to those politicians. And you guys just gave 2 ways that you can bring those issues to those politicians. Now, the thing that I think people don't realize is that they can do that. All right. So, Waverly, when you say you go into those spaces, or they come into your spot and they're asking you questions, walk a barber through an example of how they would handle that, because I want people to walk away with the how-to, because I know you're not alone. And I know Dr. Morrow was not alone. But I think a lot of brothers and sisters behind the chairs do have things, not necessarily around barbering. There could be other things in their community that they want to see, but they're feeling disenfranchised because they can't get to a mayor bib or a councilman, blah, 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 blah. How do they do what you do?
First of all, you might not be able to get to the mayor, but do you know that city council meets, once a month? And those meetings don't have a lot of people in them, Dosha. They really don't. I'm always surprised when I go down there and I sit, because everybody complaining about the potholes over here, Ain't no stores over here. And then you go to the city council meeting where you know all of the city council of Cleveland, I'm just referring to Cleveland right now, it's going to be there. Don't be a lot of people there. It really don't. So that's when you can, that 10 minutes when everybody congregating in that lobby is when you, and I've seen it happen. I've seen brothers.
Do you think there's an issue that they don't want to hear? Can they go and talk about whatever they want to see, or do you think there's some politics?
Specifically want to get on the mic, if you specifically want to address city council, you got to, and this is another thing, people don't know the protocol of politics. Now, is it some of it some BS? Yeah, but you got to shoot an email. You can't just show up and say, I heard it's a city council meeting today. I want to talk to Councilman such and such. They go say, well, ma'am, is your name on the list? What list? Well, you should have emailed us a week ahead of time saying that you want to speak. Because if you're not on that list, you're not going to be allowed to speak. So you got to go through the protocols. Now, just to walk somebody through it, a lot of times a person that's campaigning or thinking about campaigning, normally before they launch a campaign is when I start to see people. And they come in, if they catch me there, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not there. You'll never just be able to blow down on me at the shop and I'm there.
That I tried, y'all. I got it on. Hey, girl, when we was doing the Afro hair science something, I tried to blow in. Me and Chrissy we was like, "What Waverly at?" They were like, "Who?"
Yeah,
you want your haircut? You need to get your haircut, lady.
Right. If you happen to catch me there, and it's a few that have, first thing I'm gonna say is, if I'm at the shop, I'm making money. I got a client in the chair. Here's my card. Send me an email, and let's make arrangements. Let's make arrangements there. And 9 times out of 10, I know who the person is. But before that meeting, I'm doing all my research. I'm asking questions that stuff might have been questionable in their background, because you want me to show up at your rally. You want me to back you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I want to see what promises did you make in the last office that you held, and did you come through for them? And then at this point, I got a bunch of, like you, I'm Dose. Do you know such and such? You know how me and you, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that one.
I need to know what his political colleagues are saying. And then I'm checking with my chain of command with my hood network, Dose. I'm calling Greg Draft over on 117th and Superior. I'm calling my guys over at Polished Professionals over on Larchmere. The other barbers, I'm calling Shireen. I'm calling other stylists and barbers to see what is the street saying.
All right, so there you have it. You're getting pure and unadulterated voter funk up in here. Waverly just walked you guys through it. Cheryl and Waverly are walking you guys through how you're going to begin your own civic responsibility in your own way. But in order for us to keep this good news going of how to help change the narrative about how barber and beauty professionals can do their civic responsibility around voter engagement, Cheryl is going to ask you guys to do this right quick, right now. All y'all got to do is this. Watch this. Come on, y'all. Y'all hanging out with us this long. You might as well do this. Hit it, Cheryl. Bam. All right, so we're doing pretty good. What's happening? We're looking really good over here on Instagram. Everybody is saying, what's up, Mr. Waverly? We got Yate, the barber stylist, Teta 13216, Glamour Girl. How you doing? I saw you over at Bedford High School. Just got their new cosmetology program. So big ups to Bedford High School. So Waverly, you are getting mad love in the chat. Everybody is liking what you're saying. Let me show you guys a little clip here. Waverly sent this to me. Let me just make sure I got it up over here. Yep, there it is. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the other side of Waverly in case you didn't know. So here we go. Right quick, hold on. Let me just pull this up. Here it is. Share. All right. And let me hit play. There we go.
Rougher environments. I sold drugs. like the rest of my friends, but I broke the cardinal rule of any drug dealer, which was don't get high on your own supply. After losing homes, cars, relationships, I was literally homeless. The only thing that I did not lose or sell was my Clippers. I kind of stumbled across Barber College while I was homeless. I literally begged these people to let me in the program. So they put me in barber school, and I met my first sponsor. He took me to a homeless shelter. When I got in, I took a bath. While I was in the water, I just sat there and I cried and I begged God if I could be released from the demons of addiction. I would spend the rest of my days trying to help God's people. So I opened up my own barbershop. I would notice that some of my clients I hadn't seen in a while. I would ask what happened to them. And they would say, well, he had a heart attack, he died. He had high blood pressure. In order for me to keep my pact, to keep my promise with God, I knew that I needed to create a space that would be more of a community center.
So I started a partnership with Cleveland Clinic where we offer men free blood pressure screenings and healthcare advice right inside of the barbershop.
I knew that the barbershop always will be a safe space for men to come to. So many men out here, we under this macho man mantra that we don't want to show our vulnerable side. I have to go out and tell the world you can be saved too.
Family, please welcome Waverly Willis.
Oh, God.
Truly black to the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
We bow before you and salute you, King. Now,
Oh, my God.
I mean, one, salute you on so many things of getting off drugs, obviously, turning your life around, the barbershop, but now inspiring and leading and helping in your community. Specifically, though, I got to ask you, why did you decide to offer blood pressure screenings at the barbershop?
Well, when I decided to offer the blood pressure screenings at the shop, I noticed a lot of my clients starting to disappear. And when I would run into a wife, girlfriend, son or daughter at the local grocery store or the dry cleaners or something, I would ask what happened to them. And they told me that.
Dosh, I didn't even know I sent that to you.
Oh, that's okay. Nah, that's cool.
Yeah, that
all
was
right.
a great
So
experience.
there you go. So there it is right there, live and direct. Waverly Willis with none other than Nick Cannon, and sharing with you guys in real time here on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair, the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel, and all of our other social media platforms, his lived experience of working his way through the trenches and being what he called a community resource. And so now that you've done that, in addition to your voting thing, you also have men's health at the height of your business, which is very needed. But also here in Cleveland, you have done this now. This is a brainchild of Waverly. Like literally, this is how it happened. We watched the DNC, right? And Waverly called me up like, "Doge, we gotta do something.
You
We
heard
gotta
the first
do
lady?
something, all right?" So Waverly sent me this right here as before we wrap this up, guys. Okay, so Waverly sends me this logo, which I've been showing it on here like it ain't no tomorrow, right? So he sends me this, right, guys? Hair pros for Harris. So y'all know Key Lolo. I'm all in. Me and Shirley answer our phone like this. Kamala Harris campaign headquarters. This is Cheryl Morrow. How can I help you? This is how me and Cheryl. We're not making this up, y'all. This is how it's going down. So Waverly says, let's get together. Let's do something. So I said, sure. And so then we talked to the elder, Gwen Garth, who was along the thought processes of Waverly. But, we really can't necessarily tell people to vote for a particular person, right? So she said, how about you guys do some voter engagement? So I said, Waverly, can we do something around voter engagement instead of voters for Harris? Hair pros for Harris? And then Waverly was like this. Bam! There you have it. Hair pros for voter engagement. So here is what Waverly and I came up with. Now, if you own your own business, right? A barbershop, a hair salon, nail, whatever, skincare spa, and dentals, because my dentist said, well, we need some of those too. Can you believe that, Waverly? Just that quick.
That's what's up.
You can email me at the Afro Hair Science at Gmail. And this right here, now the logo belongs to Waverly, but he's so kind to share. All right. Hair Pros
It's
for Voter
ours.
Engagement. It's ours. You see that? And on the back,
Yes.
I did the research. Waverly just told us something very important. He said, you know what, guys? You got to do your research. So to demonstrate that, on the back of that card, we have things for you to consider as you engage your vote in Ohio. Now, our job is not to convince you. Waverly and Cheryl said, we can't do that. Can we, Waverly? We cannot.
I didn't say that.
Can't do
Yeah,
that.
you said we can't. What'd you say, Cheryl?
But I didn't say that.
What'd you say?
I endorse.
I know, but can you convince
Right.
people to vote? Is what I'm asking.
That no one convinces anybody. They endorse.
Okay,
I
so we
just-
can't. Yeah, so you can't convince people to vote. That's not what we're trying to do. Is where I'm going with this. That is not our job. We're not trying to do that. But what we are doing is our civic responsibility. Number one, Waverly said, your issues matter, right, Waverly?
Your issues matter. And you do have a voice. And you have a platform. Even if you are a beginning cosmetologist, nail tech, esthetician, you see, let's just dumb it down to the smallest scale. You see 5 people a week. You definitely see 5 people a week. Because even if you're a beginning, those are 5 people that you can say, you know what? Oh, are you registered to vote? Oh, you don't know? Go to vote.org. Either you can register to vote on vote.org, you can check to see if you still registered, and you can vote by mail if you get that arranged. So you can do something. We have a huge platform together, y'all. We can make a difference for this upcoming election. Please. And so many people is like, we don't need to do that. She go get it. And I know I shouldn't have said that though. Look.
It's okay. It's our platform. Me and Cheryl, we for Harris. Hey, we sure we ain't got no.
Right.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
We taking this serious. We want to crush you. We don't want to just beat.
And let me just be clear. You guys have an interest here.
Right. You have whether you know it or not, you have an interest here. And this is the guys that people say, well, I don't really get into politics. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. This is what I tell people. Look, vote for the person that you think is going to put people in position to help people like you and I.
Just that simple.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. Sure, I don't know if you were going to add some more to that. And again,
what's up?
yeah, everybody. I'm telling you, Sir Pooh is out here helping us out, and we're just, there's a book here. And sure, if I know you were going to say something, if you want to, I do want you.
I forgot it. All right.
Oh, okay. If it comes back, just go ahead and blurt it out. But here's a book here. It's called Styling Jim Crow. I have the book here. This is one of our first books, I believe. This is one of our first books that we promoted on this show. And this book takes you through this history of everything that Waverly and Cheryl is highlighting, you guys. This ain't nothing new, y'all. This is what we do. We've been doing this.
Have to do.
Yeah, we've been I think turning away from something in your heart, that can make a difference, you're doing a disservice. And I know you think it doesn't matter. I know what you're thinking. Well, I think we should have swimming pools. It does matter. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Remember that organization? One mother was able to change the trajectory so that people
Yeah.
who drink and drive and hurt people are going to be held to a higher responsibility than they were when Shirley and I were growing up in Waverly. People could just kill somebody and they just went home like, oh, he got drunk and killed somebody. But it does matter. I also want to show you this picture here. That was me and Cheryl. Cheryl and I believe so much in Afro hair science. We were able to get an actual bill number assigned, and we were able to go and do what? Lobby for it. So we're telling you guys, you have a civic response. It does to some people like Afro hair science. That's the stupidest thing ever. You know, extra stop lowering hours in a barber's. That's the stupidest thing. Waverly, were we able to stop them from lowering those hours for the barbers?
We stopped them at least 6 times, you know, just with our testimony and just with our presence at the Ohio State House. They said, we're not going to vote on this today. So you can make a difference. You definitely can. You don't have to know politics to know that you want a better life for your kids. You don't have to be a historian or a politician to know that it's time, like Vice President Harris said, to change this old playbook we've been using. The face of our country is not an old white wrinkled face no more. You know what I'm saying? It's time, y'all. It's time.
It's time. The time is now.
Right. This good old boy stuff is over.
It's over, and you are able to do it. Fatu is over on Instagram, and she is saying hello. Yes, all the way from the Gambia. She says, "Go, go, 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 go! Black excellence, black excellence." As a matter, there are students in the chat from the that Fatu just never ceases to amaze me. There are students over on Instagram, Waverly, and they're telling you, "Go, go, go! Black excellence, black excellence." Now, this is the Gambia, guys. So we have people in West Africa saying you can do this. So instead of us just sitting here saying we want to collect some money, but you can't go and donate to the person of your choice, what we have to offer our fellow licensed professionals. Now, I'm going to be out. Waverly and I, we've already said together, we're going to volunteer our own time. We're going to canvas in our own way. We're going to come to your barbershop and your hair salon. Here's what you get when you participate in Hair Pro's voter engagement initiative. Okay. And this is for barbers, stylists, estheticians, and nail techs. One, you're going to get this card. It's double-sided. Now, this is free. Compliments of King and Queens of Art. That is Miss Gwen Garth. Okay, Miss Gwen Garth. All right. On the flip side of that card, there are some talking points, or you can just put it on your station, or you can just give it to your customer. You don't have to try to talk if you're not as loquacious as Ladosha, okay? And so you're going to get this card. We're also going to give you guys some voter registrations because there's still time. We're not asking you to register people to vote. You just put it there. If the conversation comes up, you say, yo, sis, yo, bro, yo, nephew, fam, you know, Shaquita, you know, Mrs. Jones, you know, whatever. There's a voter registration card up there. If you want to go ahead on, you can complete that. And that's it.
And tell them brothers and sisters that got that felony. I got a felony myself. We can vote in Ohio.
There it is.
Start seeing commercials and a bunch of social media rhetoric saying that we can't, and that's done on purpose.
Now,
felons can vote.
This is from a real ex-felon. Did you hear what he said, guys?
That's right.
He is an ex-felon, and it is on the back of the card that you can vote. Now, remember, this is an Ohio initiative. So if you're in another state, you can borrow this concept. You can borrow. Waverly says it is ours. But what's on the back of it is an Ohio initiative. So don't try this in Florida, Please don't. It's not going to work. But you can email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com. And for the free, we will send this to you. You can make your own copies, but we are going to do our own canvassing. And this is in the legacy of Cheryl's father, Dr. Willie Morrow. And then, of course, there are some people here in the book. If you just want to, like Waverly said, do your own research, you don't have to take our word for it if you're feeling a little nervous about doing it. And then also Waverly Willis himself. We're down with you guys. We're everyday people, just like you are. I ain't been on Nick Cannon show. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Waverly? But you don't have to do all that. Waverly just told you. Your everyday person. If you're in Cleveland, every municipality has their own rules of engagement, but you definitely want to follow their rules to let your voice be heard. Or when they come into your space, Waverly says, just tell them. Or like Cheryl said, you can do what, Cheryl? Have your own initiative.
Yeah.
Do like her father did. I'm going to tell you what I want you to do, but we have to have an interest. And Cheryl said that's something that the beauty and barber industry we really need to work on, is having some sort of an agenda as we do this. All right. So we got to see what I'm saying, Waverly. We're on the right track. There it is. Sir Pooh said, send me some. Don't worry. We got you. We got you. We got you. Okay. So this is what we do for the people in the industry, because Waverly says that we are a community. So before we wrap this up, Waverly, can you just conclude with just another word of encouragement, to that person who's watching us? Because there's a lot of barbers in the chat over on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And, we're not saying, like Cheryl said, we ain't trying to convince y'all. Right, Cheryl?
Right.
Nope. Cheryl said no. But this is our job. And Waverly said we are, and I stole this term from Cheryl. She says, a hair salon and a barbershop is an extension of the community.
Absolutely.
And I never thought of it that way until Cheryl said it. And we are. Waverly is doing blood pressure checks in a barbershop.
Right.
That's not the
norm. We had the prostate bus pull up, had men in a line going to give a little blood to get their prostate checked, not the rectal exam, y'all.
They have new ways of doing this, guys.
Right. But the thing about it is this. Once I started doing community service is when my clientele, not just my clientele, but not just my one shop. I only work in one of my shops. All of my shops' clientele skyrocketed because people know that I don't just look at them for an extra $40 a week. You know what I'm saying? That I genuinely give a damn. I'm asking, have you been taking your meds, bro? Or my finest moments is when I'm in a shop full of these quote unquote macho men, and you think we talking about the Browns, Cavs, or the Guardians, but we discussing vegetarian lasagna recipes or celebrating a New York. Those are my proudest moments. You know what I'm saying? Because
I got you.
When the people will mess with you for real if they know that you really love them and love your community. I'm telling you, do this for your.
Yeah, what Waverly's saying is very true. Cheryl, can you share with us? I didn't know this till Cheryl shared. I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, Cheryl shared with me. This is not, and if it's a lie, Cheryl told it, Waverly. But Cheryl told me that her father would grow collard greens and cook them and serve them or give them away. He made collard green vinegar, collard greens wine, and he was a barber, guys. And Cheryl said that he was so serious, to Waverly's point, that he didn't even want people interrupting him because he would be like in the garden. I cannot picture Dr. Morrow kneeling down with some collard greens, but Cheryl said this was his thing. And so Waverly has his thing. So Cheryl, Can you just share that? I mean, you know, she sent me a picture. I will show it next week if you give me permission. But yeah. So can you share, just like Waverly is sharing, that your passion and your love, it can come through. You can do it. Can you just share just a little bit about, because I couldn't believe it. I can't picture her dad, Suave, Rico Suave, with the greens, you know.
Oh well, you know, and therein goes what Waverly said earlier. When you don't know the history of who barbers were, then you don't know what kind of barber you want to be. Barbers were medical doctors, and they were attorneys. The first open heart surgeon, a barber, you know, and you know, and even the guy with the blood plasma, barbers, and that is one of the things that we got to really understand, is that we've got to really start connecting the barber to these very high art, very distillers and winemakers were barbers, dentists were barbers, and I think that because of the, you know, you want to get to the cut game, and you'll be a hair cutter, but that's not a barber.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You'll be a hair cutter, but that is not a barber. Waverly, do you have a closing thought or a favorite quote or something you want to say to these barbers out here that's like, okay, Waverly, you got me, okay?
Well,
Give us
first,
some word to the wise, yeah, before we close out.
Well, first, thank you, Ladosha. Thank you, Cheryl, for again sharing your platform. And as y'all know, I don't know if the people watching know, I was going down to the juvenile detention center, and I see all of these black boys locked up as young as 9 years old. So if you don't have no reason to get involved, then besides yourself or your family, think about all these little black boys. Y'all watch the news every night like I do, and it's not all their fault. So please get involved, because in the words of Frederick Douglass, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So get involved for these little black boys that's running our streets, shooting and killing each other. They ain't got nothing to do. You know, they don't have no one to look up to. We are the neighborhood heroes. They can't touch LeBron James. They can't touch Serena Williams. But to see you in your business every day, making money, pulling up in a nice car and some nice shoes, we the neighborhood heroes that these kids can touch. Let's make a difference for them.
All right. There you have it. Hair Pros, voter engagement. We're talking about barbers, stylists, estheticians, and nail techs. This is an initiative brought to you by Waverly Willis. I support it. Sir Pooh is in the chat. He supports it. We're going to go out and do some canvassing and drop this information off at your place of business for free. And this is compliments, again, of kings and queens of art. And that is Gwen Garth. She was so kind to print these for us. We have a plethora of them. However, if you are not, like, I don't know if I'm going to be at work, but I really need some, we can email this file to you for free, and you can print it double-sided. And if you just want one, maybe you can make a poster, put it in your bathroom, however you want to do it. We're doing this, and we also encourage you to get you some voter registration cards and just put like 2 or 3 where your clients can see them. But we're going to bring some with us when we show up, because we know that some of you guys can't come from behind that chair, but you may just want the information. And again, we're not here to try to convince you. We're being a resource, because I'm a Waverly, you know, I'm a home girl, you know what I'm saying? I never, man, listen, if you would have told me when me and Cheryl was writing this bill, I was like, Cheryl, look at us. Look what us can do. We can write it. And it was an amazing journey, and it continues to be a journey. It hasn't passed, but the lobbying, it's been very dynamic. So Cheryl, you always close us out with something, wonderful and amazing. So can you close us out on this topic of voter engagement in our industry, and of course, what it means to you, or just your thoughts?
As long as you know the issues, hopefully in the middle of your engagement, that you get educated, especially on the different of what you'll be voting for and what's important to you. Unless you have someone to be able to engage that with, it's going to be workshops or something like that. I'm guessing, right?
What we're doing?
No. What I'm saying is, in terms of, let's just say barbers are probably just in that one block. You guys pay what? How many property taxes or employee taxes or whatever the case, insurances or whatever is owed to your municipal and your fiduciary relationship with your city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you have a fiduciary interest in what happens to you and what potholes, how potholes get paid for, how these things turn over in terms of how things are going to work for you, right? And so hopefully we're going to be giving them the basic information, because those boys that you guys are talking about, that it is crucial. And I will not bite my tongue and tell you that, okay, I'm going to be very boisterous and tell you what's at stake here. What's at stake here is that 5 boys about 35 years ago would not be the boys and men today. And so when you're talking about your politics and making sure that at least you hear from me about what it is that's important, okay? Project 2025 is important. And if you need to know what these things are and how they affect your lives, because barbers and hairstylists and salon owners and spa owners, you guys pay taxes. And you pay city tax and you pay state tax. That means that you have a fiduciary responsibility to not only just vote. Our ancestors did not die for you to vote. They died for you to vote right in your interest, and to make sure that is, if your interest is criminal justice, you need to be making sure that we are voting blue.
All right.
Want to deal with healthcare, and you want to deal, and let me just say this, and I wanted to make sure that we got that meat in, because of course that is what our the subject matter. But thank you, Waverly, for your presence and your wisdom. It was wonderful to hear. I did not know that about you, so it was interesting
Thank you.
to hear. I didn't know you're such an incredible human being.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Can we all give our brother Waverly a big round of applause? You held everybody's attention on all the platforms, which I told you guys he would. And again, Esther T. Jones, we have to continue to thank you so much for your ideals. Now, remember, we're very open here on this platform. We are pure and unadulterated. This is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. No other podcast is talking like this. You're not going to get this type of passion and love from your fellow barber like you're getting from Waverly tonight. He is a real barber. You can just check him out right here in Cleveland, Ohio. We're not unreachable people, but like Waverly said, you just can't drop in on him. And in case you're just still like, I don't know, sure, just gave you some reasons to vote blue, I'm going to play a clip. And then I want you guys to maybe in your own minds, you finish the end of the sentence. Just something to think about from the debate.
The president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this
motherfucker.
We all filled in the blanks ourselves.
So everybody fill in the blanks, and you make the decision. We have made ours. We respect any choice that you make. It's none of our business how you do it. But all three of us right here, we are hair pros for who? Harris.
Let's do
say it
something.
Again. All three of us folks right here on this screen, we are hair pros for Harris. So you do your civic responsibility. We thank you guys so much. We're going to be back next week. And Cheryl, on both platforms, we're going to be talking about the Crown Act 2.0. So if you are a natural hairstylist or aficionado, then this is the podcast you want to be on next week. Also on the dumbest that people say about Black hair. Waverly, we hope to have you back on because we're going to be talking about teaching as well. So hopefully you can come back. Please tell the president I said hello and your beautiful missus. And we thank everybody so much. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Our goal is to reach 3,000 followers. We're doing pretty good. You helped us reach our other goal. Let me just kind of show you this right quick. Cheryl made this little thing for us. So thank you so much for letting us get our 2,500 subscribers. We actually were able to reach that. We're going to be back next week. And you know what we say when we're signing out, right, guys? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better. Go ahead, Waverly.
And your better's best.
All right. See what I'm saying? Waverly had the same mama. He didn't even know that's how it went down on this platform. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, Waverly. You are awesome. I love you with all my heart.
Love y'all
too. We will be out there, and let's give Waverly one more round of applause because, man, this was very touching, and everybody really, really enjoyed you, Waverly. Really enjoyed it.
So all right.
What you say, Cheryl?
Yeah. Unbelievably interesting.
Unbelievably interesting. Wow, look at all the love in the chat. Okay, guys, y'all have a good night. Thank you again, Waverly. All right.
I
know we out here. If I can find the thing, y'all know me. I'm still trying to find it. They're like, where's that? Okay, Sir Pooh, we love you. Monica, we can't. Everybody, LB, my brother, everybody in the chat, we love y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. Instagram, we most certainly love y'all too. Good night.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.